Hi, I'm Stefan, the BMW DIY guy, and I want to show you how you can install carbon fiber winglets onto your BMW Competition. Alright, so this is going to be a pretty straightforward and quick and easy project if you want to add some really distinct carbon fiber like you'd see on the M2 CS. Now, CT Carbon makes a fantastic CS style kit of carbon fiber, and this is going to be just one of a series of adding carbon fiber to my M2 Competition. What I want to add for you today are the carbon fiber winglets. These are some really cool additions to the side. So instead of like the more of the running board style or similar like the M2 CS, these are a winglet style that goes back behind your door. These are a really cool addition and they're really easy to put on. So let's go ahead and walk through the project. I'm going to show you how you can do this yourself. It's really straightforward. All right, so as you can tell, I already have my car up in the air, and normally I'd use my quick jacks, but in this case, they're going to be in the way. So I'm always going to say this when you're using a floor jack. As you can see, I've got a jack stand as well. Do not bet your life on a 50-cent part in a floor jack. Please don't do it. I've seen them fail. Your car will come down, and if you're underneath it, that can be a really, really bad day. Okay, so let's walk through the location here really quickly. So if you haven't seen them before, the winglets actually go back in this section right here. They're going to match up really easily, and they're going to attach from underneath. There's just 3 screws that we're going to put in, so I'm going to show you how to make the pilot holes to put them in. And this is actually the exact same thing you would do if you had the OEM M Performance carbon. In this case, you'd be punching 6 holes if you had the OEM, and in this case, we're going to be punching 3. So let me crawl underneath, let me show you what this looks like. But the very first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to take some rubbing alcohol and clean this whole section underneath. Make sure that this is as clean as possible, because we're going to be using some 3M adhesive. So let me show you what that looks like. All right, so what I've gone ahead and done, so you can see the 3 holes that we're going to be tapping into here into the plastic, but I've actually go ahead and added some 1-inch 3M double-sided automotive adhesive. This is some really fantastic stuff. It sticks incredibly well, and this 1 inch is going to be more than enough to hold this piece on. But I really want this to be just absolutely rock solid, and if you look at the BMW guides for installing their M Performance winglets, they have screws, they have glue, and they have adhesive tape. So we're going to make sure to do very, very similar in this case to make sure that these stay on. But first and foremost, I'm going to clean underneath so this 3M adhesive sticks really, really well. And then we're going to hold this up into place so we can mark where our screw holes are going to be. So let me clean, and we'll get underneath, and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so here we are. We're looking at the rocker panel here on the driver's side, and I've cleaned all of this underside of the rocker panel off with a little bit of rubbing alcohol, and you want to make sure to give it time to dry. Okay, so all you need to do, and this is going to be really easy because there's a ridge here on the rocker panel, so you can only push in so far before it hits that ridge. So it's a really easy measurement. You push in so it hits that ridge really easily, and then you just measure it right here against the edge of the wheel well. Okay, so really quite simple, as you can see all the way around. Then just simply take a pencil and mark where your drill holes are going to be. So go ahead and mark all 3 just like that. Okay, nice and easy. Make sure that your mark is right in the center of where you're going to drill. And we're going to drill very, very small, basically tap holes, because what I don't want to do is when the screws go in, I don't want them going in cockeyed or not in straight. So I want to put in a very small hole to give the screw a start, and then they'll make sure that they'll go in really nice and straight. Okay, so I'm confident that that's really nice and easy. Make sure and check your marks, and then we're going to go ahead and grab the drill. All right, so I'm going to try to stay out of the way of the camera as much as I can, but I've got my 3 marks, 1, 2, and 3 down here. Now, when you do this, keep in mind I'm going to use a very small bit drill because all I want to do is just basically make a very small pilot hole so the screws go in cleanly. The other thing I don't want to do is drive this drill all the way up into the space. Now, granted, there isn't a lot back behind here, but at the same time, I'm not going to want to drive a drill bit way back into this plastic, okay? So when you do this, go ahead and make sure that you line your drill up really, really well. And you're going to want to make sure that your drill is as straight as possible, right? And all we're going to do is just drill just like that. That's all I need to do. I mean, I only went in probably about a ½ inch or so. I've just made a very clean, nice pilot hole for my screw. So when my screw goes in, it'll go in very, very nicely. I don't have to worry about it not going in straight or anything else like that. So again, do your best to make sure your drill is as straight as possible. Nice and clean. I mean, again, that was probably ½ an inch or so. Okay, so I'm just going to get this third one set up for you, and then we're just going to peel back the adhesive and secure this into place. Okay, I want to show you a little trick that we're going to do that I think would be hard to explain looking upwards at the car. So we're going to do it here sitting, looking at the car. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that everything is lined up, that my screws are lined up, that my tape is in a good place, and all of that is set up. But if I peel back all of my tape and immediately stick it into place, well, if I'm out of alignment for my screws or something like that, that's a problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel back half of the adhesive. So I'm going to have this double-sided backing hanging down on the inside. So it's going to be hanging down over here. And then when I hold it up here, I'm going to half put the screws in. So it's going to it'll hold in place, but not be pressed up to the car yet. Okay, with all 3 screws all the way in, but just enough to hold it in place. Okay, once that's done, I can take this and I can pull off the rest of the backing and push it up into place. My screws will be straight, my 3M adhesive will be on really, really good, and then I can sink all 3 screws. Okay, so really simple. It's harder to describe than it is to do, but that way you make sure that this gets on very, very securely, and it is on straight as well. All right, so go ahead and get that done. All right, y'all, as you can see, it's on. Looks great. It really is that simple. Okay, so a couple of things when you put this in. Remember, you're putting screws into plastic, and not even necessarily all that hard plastic either. So you really want to drive the screws in until they're snug, and because if you over crank them, they're going to strip, and then they're not going to be tight anymore. So this is also why I wanted to use the 3M double-sided adhesive as well, to make sure that these are super secure. So I really like it. I think it absolutely looks fantastic. Get a little bit further away view. This really fits in that little bit more aggressive style. Personalizes the car a little bit, and adds a little bit of that CS flair to my M2 Competition. So I really like it. If you haven't done the other side yet, go ahead and do that. It's going to be the exact same process, and you're done. All right, so go ahead and clean up, put your tools away. You can tell this is not a hard project to do and won't take you very long to do either. Please make sure to check out the rest of my M2 style carbon fiber series of what I'm doing here on my M2 Competition. So everything from the front to the rear, adding all of those carbon fiber elements that can really make your car look very distinct. So thank you to CD Carbon for making such a fantastic product that's so easy to work with. And remember, everything you need will be listed in the video description below. Make sure to check that out. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please make sure to click the alarm bell and the subscribe button. It makes a huge difference to my channel, and I have a ton of content coming. You're just going to be blown away by it. I can't wait to share it with you, and I'll see you on my next project.